So imagine funding a transitional housing project that helps individuals rebuild their lives. Or you might work with a local business that's about bringing jobs to communities communities that are struggling. These are real things when you invest with compassion into things that can touch lives. It can truly help transform and create a legacy of opportunity. Welcome to Live for Free, where we transform lives. And in today's episode, we're going to do part 2 of the power of compassionate investing, where we specifically talk about how compassionate investing addresses critical issues and is not just for financial gain, but it's going to also be good for the world. Now, as we look at transitional housing, the impact that it can make is tremendous. And as you already know, we talk about this over and over again. We have a shortage in this community and in our world, not just here in the United States, but affordable housing is a struggle finding it. You hear me talk all the time about how our affordable housing opportunities are just diminishing, and we are having large scale of homelessness across this country. When I go from city to city, I'm just alarmed as I see the unhoused population growing. And what's feeding it are individuals who are aging out of foster care. You're finding individuals who are coming out of incarceration. You're finding individuals who are dealing with just getting older. Those are 3 populations we could potentially impact, let alone talking about people who are dealing with mental illness, dealing with recovery. All of these things feed what we currently see on a daily basis. Our homeless population is getting to be astronomical. And the things that we're doing right now in communities, as much as we are working together, we are working against each other, and it's just continually impacting what we can do going forward. So we have to be creative as we think about ways in which we can provide affordable housing to individuals. So as you look at our housing shortage, being able to invest in affordable and transitional housing options so that you can create some stability for people just to get them stable. We're not talking about them staying permanently in that place, but we're talking about ways in which we can help get them stable and then think on creating other ways in which they can not only be stable, but have more sustainability around their life. And that's what we talk about doing, at least in the type of transitional housing I create. My goal is to create transitional housing for those individuals who are just a step away from potentially being homeless, but they just need some support. And then I can teach them some skills that will help them sustain themselves so that they can catch it before life really happens and they are homeless. And once we see that our housing shortage we're clearly having a shortage, we need more people who are compassionate investors who can create housing that is more accessible and sustainable, that's going to meet some of these needs that are coming down the pike. You think we're here now? We're still not even here. There's another wave. We've been talking, you hear me talk regularly about this silver tsunami that is about to happen. We are seriously going to get to a point within the next few years where we're having more of the baby boomers who now are going to be a part of our unhoused. They're going to then need services. And if we're not out here being creative in how we're creating housing for them, we're not going to be able to catch this. And that's why I strongly support agencies working together with landlords, working together with compassionate investors, working together with businesses, working together with government to make these things happen. and do it in a way where it's done seamlessly, which is a challenge within itself. Because unfortunately, we live in communities where the very people who are providing the help are the ones who at times are being attacked for the work that they want to do. If we can learn to work together, and don't get me on my soundbox or my soapbox because I can be on there for a minute, we clearly are experiencing a shortage. And we have to be creative as a community of people who care about impacting them and doing it without infighting, doing it without back and forth. And this shouldn't be about that. We should be about how can we help people move forward. And that's what I'm about, is helping people move forward. So being able to address the issue that we currently have right now, because there is a shortage, I already know that that is critical. That is the most critical thing that we are faced with when we're dealing with the issues that are currently in our community. Another issue that is clearly here is the way in which we educate individuals so that they can be able to have sustainable skills. We are there's a lack. There is a breakdown in the education that people can get that helps sustain them. And we need to explore all opportunities, whether it is working with vocational training, you've got job skills training, you've got community educational programs. There are all these opportunities that are here that we can go to that can help us break some of this cycle of poverty that people are experiencing today. And when we can invest in those things that help individuals learn how to sustain themselves, then we can sort of catch some of these things and help elevate them to where they need to go. And then as you think about businesses who are in this space, there are a lot of businesses that are here who are, and they have a desire to be able to bring change to our community. And when we can look at these businesses and partner with them in a way that will help them be able to serve their mission, we also can serve our mission. I talk about all the time as a compassionate investor, I don't have a desire to do everything by myself, like at all. I want to partner with people, partner with businesses, partner with agencies, partner with other compassionate investors, partner with landlords. All of these things can be done in partnership to address what is about to happen so that we can be able to make an impact. So as a compassionate investor who really wants to make an impact, creating those partnerships are critical. And when you can create those partnerships with those entities, as we look at that, we can grow to a whole nother level. And that is my desire, is that we can help individuals get to a place where they're working together instead of against each other, so that we can ultimately impact the communities in which we serve. Because we are a community and we want to be able to make those differences. As I think about compassionate investing, there is a ripple effect, right? And in this ripple effect, because it starts first with the individual you work with. And when you can provide for an individual and give them housing stability so that they feel stable in where they live, you provide opportunities for them to be employed so that they at least have some money coming in to just get stable. And then you give them education. The power of those three things together on that individual is so uplifting. And that is like the first place where it starts. When you as a compassionate investor can get there and help people get those three things, the power that you create, it actually creates a foundation for their personal success when you do that. And that is our ultimate goal. We want to be able to help individuals get to a place where they've got housing, they've got employment, and they have education. And you give them that base, you have now empowered them. You've given them something that they can now take and be able to not only contribute to themselves and contribute to their community that they live in, but they then can give to others. That's what I love about our transitional housing maximize training and our back to life training, because the intention is that it creates a snowball effect in helping individuals, because as they help themselves, they then will help others as they help themselves. And you're building on that. And they serve as mentors, they serve as leaders, they serve as individuals that others can say, who came from the same place where they came from, that person can do it, I can do it too. And that's what we do. That's the power of being a compassionate investor that's helping individuals get into housing, getting employment, and getting an education. So then, as you think of that individual who's then being uplifted, you now will be able to have a stronger community. Imagine that one individual in that one house that impacts there, and the individuals from here who see what he does and says, I can do that too. Now you got two guys who are doing it, helping other people, that will then grow four people, that'll then grow 8 houses. Like, you can see the exponential growth of what this can do for individuals and communities, because as you can then impact a community or a neighborhood, the power that that's going to bring to other individuals that then see it happening, you then will create that ripple effect even within the community that then can then ripple out into other communities, that then ripple out into cities. Like, the impact is astronomical, because when you can think about how then that community that thrives and grows then begins to impact the economic development of that community. So by simply saying and raising your hand and saying, I want to be a compassionate investor, you can create a rippling effect, not only in the lives of the people that are in the housing with you, but in the community and its economic development plan. That is what's so powerful about being a compassionate investor and being able to create that rippling effect by your actions alone. So just to give you some real life examples of how this is played out, because this amazing woman, she is phenomenal in what she is able to do, because her desire, and I'm excited to see it play out. She has a home that she is creating for individuals who are aging out of foster care. And that's where her heart is, specifically in working with those individuals. And she's catering only to like a handful of young adults. Don't want to call them boys or girls, because they're not. They're young adults who are aging out of foster care. And now she's making sure that they have housing, making sure it's in place, and that they have employment, making sure they have the skills that they need to be able to stay on a job. Because clearly, when I talk about skills, it's more than actually doing the work. It's your work ethic, the way in which you perform, the way in which you wake up in the morning and prepare for yourself to go to work. And it's calling and not calling in sick. It's like having integrity around employment, right? Because a lot of the kids at this age, young adults, they are still learning, and because they are aging out of foster care, there are a lot of things that they've not learned because they're aging out of foster care, and now they sometimes don't have anyone teaching them anymore. She took it on to teach them, and with that house, she's already preparing another one with the intention that these individuals will then be leaders in this house, replicating the same thing. So where she was the one leading this house, they now are going to lead this house. And even better, some will own them. because of the things that we teach. So imagine the impact she is making, not just on the individuals who are aging out, but the individuals who then, the community in which that housing is located, she's impacting there and being able to provide for the individuals. That is such a powerful example of what compassionate investing looks like as it can transform a neighborhood. You can also look at an example of where she partners with individuals who teach on workforce and other educational pieces there. So, in partnership, she works then with an agency that solely talks about workforce and building up skill sets in individuals. So now their mission and purpose can advance and move forward, and she's able to make an impact even at the agency level. Yet again, here we are transforming not just now neighborhoods, but an agency's mission in helping to impact. And even more so, the places where these kids are being employed, working in partnership with businesses who say, you know what, I want to give back. I will designate 5 positions for your house, for individuals who come from your program, so that we can help get them trained and get them skilled, because we have a passion for helping and being compassionate. So you see how those 3 examples alone show these are real life examples of how this works. And this is what we're talking about, is being able to make an impact that way. So as you think and you look at compassionate investing and how it impacts your community, that is the power that you have in front of you, that you're able to impact a community such as this, those critical issues in housing and economic gaps and things along those lines, and making a difference. So if that's you, definitely leave me some bullet points below or ask me a question in the comments below, because I want to make sure that you are getting what you need as you determine and decide if you want to be a compassionate investor, because that's what I'm looking for: compassionate investors who have a desire to transform the world. So identify yourself if you are, and I'll see you at the next episode.